Right, now let's explore one by one. Actually, I have said this when we started this, even when we started the lesson related to Pascal, I said this, but anyway, let me repeat, because there were some and some were not there in that day. And the problem definition is what you did to identify the problem exactly. Okay, so let me provide example. So let's think about ancient people. Let's say, so they used to actually eat. They used to eat first of all, even before this agricultural life, they used to travel various places and they used to hunt animals for their food. Actually, initial requirements that time, the initial requirement of these people were food. So they need a shelter, food, shelter, and reproducing the generation. So those were the initial tasks. So no complex requirements, right? Only food, shelter, and reproducing the next generation those were the problems. But what has happened? So they keep reproducing, they keep adding people to their tribe. So when they keep adding people to the tribe, what has happened? The shelter and food, the resources were not enough to the new generation. So basically the problem is not enough resources or not enough food and shelter. So that was the problem. So what is the requirement then? Is it the same? Can they ask God? God, we need food. God, we need shelter. Can they ask God, or can they just wait? So what is the requirement? If they don't have food and no shelter, it's limited. So now what? What is the next step? Yes? What do you think? What is the next step? And while කැලේ මැද්දේ ඉන්නවා. Tribe එකක්. ගෝත්‍රයක් විදියට. ඒතර මේ ගෝත්‍රයේ කට්ටිය දැන් වැඩි වෙගෙන එනවා. ඉන්න තැනුත් නැහැ. කන්න කෑමක් නැහැ. Now what you are going to do? හිතන්න ඔයයි ගෝත්‍රයේ නායකයා කියලා හිතන්න. What you are going to do? Yes? Make them produce. How? Make them produce. How to produce? You don't have way because you only know how to hunt. That's all. No food production methodologies. Don't know how to cultivate. Likewise, no nothing. Only thing is they know available. Now it's gone. It's over. Limited. Now what you can do? Yes, what you can do? You can just move, right? Simple thing. You can move and find it from somewhere else. Because in this jungle or this forest, you don't have. In this location, you don't have it. So you move and you can find it from somewhere. Move and find it from somewhere. Ooh, what has happened? WHER. Move and find it from somewhere. So, okay. Then, so the problem is this. So the first one is the problem. This is the problem. And this is the requirement. So identify the difference, right? Problem and requirement need not to be the same. Requirement is move and find it from somewhere. So what are the alternatives? Alternative methods. So what are the alternative methods of moving? You can fly, you can just ride, or you can just walk. You can
run.
Huh?
You can run.
Swim, can run, can jump. That's right. So these are the possible alternatives. So what is the best? What is the best? Can they fly? Can they ride? Can they walk, swim, run, jump? So need to think about the entire tribe, right? Think about children, think about adults, think about the sick people, think about, okay, the best is walk. Because this Homo sapiens, so best is walk. You select the alternative, see, right? Map with these issues. The problem, we found the problem and we found the requirement, moving, alternative ways of moving. We found the best way, we found the best way. That is walking. And now we need a plan. So what is the plan? Whether to go right or left or climb. So likewise, you have to plan. So the plan. So planning is very important. You have to discuss among yourselves. Maybe leaders will discuss, hey, let's go that direction. No, that direction is dangerous. There's a lion or crocodile. So that is dangerous, too dangerous for kids. So let's select the other direction. Even the path is too far. Let's select the other direction that is safer way. Likewise, you have to plan. But plan enough is not enough. Plan itself is not enough. You can't, so if you plan a house, you can't start living over there. You can't live in a plan. You have to get it done. Right? Activate the plan and work for it. That means you creating food path. Creating a food path. So let's say, yeah. So earlier people, so creating food path. So this, right? So this is actually ancient people. So just search. Not like this, right? This is modern. Cannot see this. Anyway, so kind of this maybe. This is also modern, right? Maybe like this. Right. Anyway, so creating food path is required, right? Creating food path is required. So that is the implementation of this plan. So now you have done the requirement analysis, feasibility study, system designing, coding and system development. That is not coding, right? That is the activation of the plan, creating the food path. And now, even after creating this, everyone will not go. So you know the animal behaviors. Leaders will follow. So leaders will lead. Others will follow. Leaders will lead and others will follow. That is the method basically. Leaders will go and test this and others will follow. Leaders will go and test this. Right? So leaders will lead, others will follow. But so here actually, so this is called testing. Because you can't let your kids or the younger generation suffer. You have to first test. Because you don't know about the quality of the path and you don't know the security of this, and testing is required. So after testing, you can hand it over to the entire tribe. Send it over to the entire tribe. That is implementation. This is a story, right? This is not a note, but still very important to remember the story from history. Implementation, that means handing over to the tribe. Implementation, sorry. Handing it over to the tribe. And then after some time, you have to clean, repair, rework on the same. You have to clean, repair, and rework on the same. But the problem, okay, after a long time, so the problem is, will your next generation still like to follow you, or will they think innovatively? What do you think? So what about the next generation? Will they follow you, or will they think innovatively? So if your father has created a footpath, you also use the footpath, or you try to develop it to a road, or you try to make it wider. So what will happen? Next generation, typically they don't like. So they want to walk with. So maybe they have a new problem. They will have new issues. Wider road to travel with goods or materials, travel with belongings. They need wider road to travel with belongings. So that is the new problem. To the new problem, again, you have to find out the requirement, do the feasibility study, do the designing, coding, development, testing, implementation, review and maintenance. After some time, again, they will think, oh, me parana hariyanna meka mada wenawa. Mada gæවෙනවා කකුල් දෙකේ. We need better way. තර පාරක් දාගන්න. After some time, you might think, this is not comfortable. We need a carpet road. Okay, then after some time, you will think, okay, this is heavy. This is traffic is really, really too much. So you need to make this wider, multi-lane road, or maybe highway. Likewise, this is never ending. Right? I discuss a separate story, but this is the story of software also. Any system has the common story. Right? This you can write as a separate thing, but this is not your node. That's why I'm just make it in a separate square. This is not your node. You can draw anything, even with the fellows. Right? Tribe. You can draw this tribe people, or any kind of tribe. So like this. If you don't like, you can select some other, right? Just draw over there. So try to remember things using relating that to real life stories. Try to remember things, but by relating it to a real life story. So that is the easiest way of doing something. Right? If you do the same, what will happen? So then you can remember the things easily, rather than like otherwise you have to buy hard drive. So just relate it to the real life things and remember that. That's enough. Okay, so let's see, right? Okay, now it's behind the text. So better write this, right? And draw this. So draw and draw. Just draw this. Related story. This is not about no, don't write this in the paper, right? So then I'm really afraid with the you go and write the same in the paper then. It was the paper එක හදපු මිනිස්සුයි බලන මිනිස්සුයි ජාතිය අමතයි. Okay. Right? So this is what happened, and let's relate this to the software story. And so, so Bill Gates, so initially now he's the fourth. So I can remember the version that I have used, the GUI version. The last, the first GUI version I have used is Windows 3.1. That looks ugly, right? So to be honest, it looks ugly. So it looks like this Windows 3.1, but I have used in my school. So this was the version. This is the Windows version, and this 3.1, right? So you can also install and see this, right? You can also install and see this in your, but you have to use a virtual environment, because your computer, you can't install this. You have to use a DOS box or virtual environment to install that, but you can experience. This is the first GUI version that I have used. There were some. CLI CLI means DOS, disk operating system, MS-DOS. I have used MS-DOS. After that, then I came to this one. First MS-DOS, and the second version is this. MS-DOS is not GUI, it's CLI, it's different one. So in MS-DOS also we had like WP51 at our time. So word processing 51. So this is not done. Word processing 51, WP51. So word processing 51 is a word processing tool in DOS. In DOS, you have WP51 here, Word Perfect 5.1 or WP51, and this was how it looks like initially. This is the first format of MS Word that we have seen. Maybe there are, so there are some ancient formats, and this is the one that I have seen, Word Perfect 51, 5.1. And then for Excel, we had like Lotus 1, 2, 3. So Lotus 1, 2, 3, and we have used this. This is the first version of Excel that we have seen. Lotus 1, 2, 3, the first version of Excel that we have seen. That is for DOS, right? But from this, they never stopped. So from DOS, they came to 3.1. Then what? After 3.1, what do you think? Windows? Yes. Windows 4, Windows 5, Windows 6, what is that? Next. Next version was Windows 95. This is how Bill Gates counts, right? Bill Gates doesn't count like 1, 2, 3. He count like DOS 3.1, 95, 98. So this is the method, right? Windows 98 was then. And then we had Windows Millennium Edition, which is Windows ME. So this is how I remember, right? So might be wrong. I'm not referring to any internet document. This is what I experienced. I have used 3.1, then 95, then shifted to 98, then shifted to ME, then shifted to Windows XP, and then shifted to Windows Vista, and then shifted to Windows 7, and then shifted to Windows 8, and then to 8.1, and then to Windows. This is my story, right? My personal story. So it never stopped, right? DOS was there, then Windows 3.1, GUI features not enough. So then came to Windows 95. I was able to watch a movie in Windows 95, but so the movie is not really good, right? Movie. So when we watching movies, the quality was something like this. So this is, doesn't show the quality, but it has like pixels dot movie quality. It was really not good. Movie quality was not really good, and it has some fractures, so the icons and all. So can see the color separation. So can see the color separation, and it was really not good. So then it comes to Windows 98. The quality was good, but security was nil. right? Quality was good, but security was not really good. And therefore, they addressed that property in Windows XP, and that was really popular version. So developed, and not Windows XP, even before that Windows ME was there, Windows Millennium Edition. This is Windows ME, nice one. I really like these interfaces. So a little enhancement to Windows 98, but not really good as Windows XP. Then the XP, for a long time I have used Windows XP, but after that it came to Windows Vista. More graphical components, looks nice, effects, and transparent, little bit of transparency. So then Windows 7 with the fully transparent Windows 7. So what, it was a good solution, but Windows 8, on the other hand, was rejected by many parties because it doesn't look perfect. It's not really good. And Windows 8.1 was a good alternative because they have suddenly removed the start button or the start menu. That is and introduced the Metro app. That is the issue in Windows 8. That's why they failed. But Windows 8.1, they have reintroduced that start menu. They have reintroduced the start menu and it looks good. And Windows 10 start menu was perfectly there, and Windows 10 is the one that we are using now, but we don't know the future. So what will happen? Windows 11, don't know how Bill Gates is counting. I don't know. So is it released or is it coming? Don't know. And Windows 12, right? These are some edited versions by people, but so what will happen next? Right. So here community, you can see what community says. So what's the next version? What do you think? So still Windows 10 is there, no? Still Windows 10 is there. Okay, so then, right. So why software development is necessary? Now we know that because it needs series of steps. So what will happen in the bank if they get a wrong figure? Then bank එකකට වැරදුනොත් හිතන්න. So bank එකකට වැරදුනොත් the software error හින්දා වෙන්න පුළුවන් දේවල්. Bank එකකට වැරදිලා if bank add additional zero to your account. So you have 20,000 in your account, but bank has added bank software has added additional zero. Then your deposit or your balance will become 200,000 suddenly because of the single zero. So instead of 1% or instead of 3% annual 3% annual interest, if bank calculate 3% monthly interest, so what will happen? Bank will lost. Right. Likewise, in case of software error, entire bank can bankrupt. If bank has 5 million deposits, suddenly it will become 50 million. What happens if someone withdraw 40 million out of that? So bank will lost. It will bankrupt. And the other hand, the medical system. So what happens if your blood report is wrong? What happens if your MRI report is giving wrong figures? Your doctor will do a wrong operation, or your doctor will prescribe wrong drugs. So that is also a problem. Likewise, software errors are life critical. So it can damage financial company, it can damage your health and life, it can damage the entire world even. So that much of critical thing the software is. So therefore it needs careful engineering process. Okay. Yeah. So different versions are there, but still Windows 10 Pro version is there. Yes, 2020 version is there, but still it's Windows 10. Still no new version is there, right? Okay. So what we have to discuss next day, we will discuss this step by step, how this is happen and what kind of methods of data gathering, and then the testing mechanisms, deployment mechanisms, and the different models of development we will discuss. And actually, next day we will finish the lesson. Okay, then with that, I'm going to stop for today. Do you have any question to be asked? Any questions related to this? Okay, if not, let's wind up. Good night, all. Let's see you in the next week. So we will finish the lesson and start the new lesson in the next week. So don't miss the classes. Then good night. See you all next week. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Welcome. Bye.